A new dawn has officially begun at Manchester United, and it is the dawn we've been waiting for a long time. What exactly are we about to expect? Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb, and of course, this is such an awesome time for us as Man United supporters, as we do welcome Mr. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is officially going to be announced soon after the Premier League board has approved his 25% takeover of Manchester United. Welcome aboard. My name is Webb. It's an awesome time as we do come here to talk about Manchester United. Mombe Bevi Vignello, hello to you, brother. You were the first one to drop here. Good to have you on. Well, a very happy time. It's an exciting moment. I think it's only right that we welcome Sir Jim Ratcliffe with a song. I don't know what songs you used to sing at school when you were kids, when you're welcoming guests or big important visitors, but we used to sing, "You are welcome, dear visitor." You switch it up a bit and replace visitor with Sir Jim. You are welcome, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Good. Badmas Basit. Good evening, my brother. I'm watching you from Nigeria. How is Nigeria? Are you excited about the news of Sir Jim and his finally confirmed 25% takeover? We're going to talk about a lot of things to do with what exactly he's going to do. The work is officially going to start now. It is just going to begin now. We'll talk about what exactly has got to do. There is no more talk. It's time for action, guys. It is time for action. No more talking and talking and talking and talking. No, we are done being talking FC. We are done being talky FC. We are now becoming Sir Jim INEOS FC, and it is time for action. We'll talk about what exactly is bound to be done. It's a good time to also recall that our boy Mason Greenwood can be returning, and it is the time for us to expect something, an update about Mason Greenwood, because, well, Sir Jim made it clear he is open to the idea of Greenwood returning to Manchester United. And speaking of Greenwood, it is his girlfriend's birthday today, his fiance's birthday today. He posted something on his Instagram, and I'll show you what he posted. He posted something on his something beautiful, something nice on his Instagram, wishing the girlfriend a happy birthday. I think she was watching. She was in attendance. I think at the. I think she came to watch the Hetafe game with their kid. It looked beautiful. It's nice. Does this look like a family that's not happy? And I'm talking to you naysayers who are trying to sell us the talk of Greenwood not coming back to Manchester United. Absolute nonsense. This is what Mason Greenwood posted on his Instagram just a few days ago. Look at that. Actually, that was today. He posted that today, I think. But look at that. Greenwood with a girlfriend saying, "Happy birthday to the best mom in the world. Mom, love you." That's the mom to their child. Now, the hypocrite saying Greenwood cannot return. Well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is here. First of all, I'm here to let you know that he's open to the idea of his return. So forget about that nonsense and just know that Mason Greenwood can return. Ernest Kavuta, hey brother, watching you from Malawi. How are you, brother? How is it going? They showed me how to greet in Malawi. I'm forgetting the word. Good. How slow can I be? I feel, God, this is annoying. They taught me how they greet in Malawi. I would have wanted to greet you in, I'll remember it somewhere within the show, and I will greet you in your language. But welcome aboard, Mr. Kavuta. It's great to have you here. Guys, let's talk about Manchester United because there is a lot to talk about. Let's start off with that good news. That, again, is going to give us the proper psych we need as we go into that game against Luton. So, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and I'm going to get for you the statement from the Premier League that has confirmed that they have approved his 25% by stake. They released the statement officially, and it is now even an independent panel did confirm this, that they did approve him as part of the director's test. The director's test, that of course is a mandatory one, and Sir Jim had to sustain it. That's why we've been in these processes. It's a good thing that it's finally done. It's a good thing that it's finally done. I do want to read the statement for you. Confirming the approval, a preliminary statement on Tuesday, that is today, say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's acquisition of 25% of Manchester United FC and further investment of 300 million US dollars in the club has been approved by the Premier League board following the completion of the owners and directors test. Yeah, that's the statement. Can I read it for you in detail? So the board agreed to the change, and it continues. The board agreed to the change of the club's ownership structure last week, and this has now been officially ratified by an independent oversight panel. The Premier League's owners' charter has also been signed. Are you listening? The Premier League Glazers, when it comes to football issues at Manchester United, guys, this is good news. This is good news. It's a breath of fresh air, which I certainly need. We forget about the stinking bad times of the Glazers. Let's breathe something new. Let's welcome a new aroma at Manchester United. A new Old Trafford class is what we expect to see, and this is exactly what Sir John to give us. Ernest, good to have you, and of course all the guys who are coming through. Now let's get proper into this Man United talk, guys. Let's get proper into this talk. Let me just put this Greenwood away. Yes, it's away. So let's get proper now into the talk. So this is exactly what this means. So first of all, we know that behind the scenes, Sir Jim and his team have been working. They have been, of course, they have been they have been hiring people, contacting people, and we know that what they have been stuck on a bit was the negotiations with Newcastle United for Dan Ashworth, my namesake, who many were saying he's the front runner to come in as the director of football. So what we expect now after a press conference, which we might see next week, an unofficial press conference confirming Sir Jim. After that, the expectation is that now we are going to see the real work being done, and there is no doubt that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has committed to being extremely transparent. There is going to be an unseen transparency when it comes to matters Manchester United, and for me, that's the most exciting bit about United, because this rebuilding is not just about him. It's about the entire club, the fan base and all, and we've got an important part to play as the fan base of this club in this rebuilding. So it's only right that we are kept in the know of whatever is going on, so that we follow together, we cheer them on, or it's a good way, I think, for you to earn the trust of the so many millions of supporters of the club. And that's what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is proving that he wants to do, which I think is extremely good for the club. And one of the things for me I'm excited about is the return of this boy Mason Greenwood, because Sir Jim and INEOS, the team, of course, been making it clear that at the end of this season, they will be open to listening to, of course, to seeing what exactly they can do depending on his performance. And I mean, for them, their business at Man United is for. They don't care about the Glazers and go well when he does. But for me, just them being open to the idea, for me, makes absolute sense. But what they are doing now is, of course, contemplating the structure of the club. And of course, then after that, they will go into the detail of now trying to look to which direction are we taking, then which players will come in and fit into whichever direction we are taking. So the work is cut out, and they seem to know exactly what they want to do. For me, that's the most encouraging thing about this whole situation. My brother, I want to ask, is Luke Shaw back? Okay. Very interesting. We'll talk about Luke Shaw in a bit when we get into the football, but I'm starting off with just this Sir Jim update, because it has been the breaking news of Manchester United. So I think for me, the expectation is clear. We expect things now to be happening. We expect people to be fired and hired. Of course, the firing has been going on already, but now we expect official people to be named into positions, and the work has got to begin. We are done talking. We want to see the work, and we don't expect Sir Jim to disappoint us, because most of us have got huge expectations in him, and there is a certain hitherto unseen faith in him and what he can do at Manchester United. So for me, it's a good thing that this is finally done. It has been sort of slowing us in a way. It's finally done, and it's now focused on doing the work, putting in the yards, and we see how far these people can take us. Omar Berada has already been working. They are looking to trim the squad to also bring in new players in the summer, and that's where again we'll talk about which players they are looking at, but they are certainly clear that they want to bring in new players and of course give a proper direction to this club. Now someone is asking me, and this is But this is Badmas Basit, my brother. I want to ask that, is Luke Shaw back? Okay, beautiful stuff there. So Luke Shaw, that's it though. So there were reports earlier today that Luke Shaw was going to be at Carrington, but unfortunately they have been told that he did not train today. That's what I've been told. He was there at Carrington though, but he did not train. I think he underwent his medical, and they were trying to properly understand his situation. I think, in all honesty, I think it's highly likely that he won't be available for the Luton game. And even if you watch the videos on the United website, just a few hours ago they dropped a video of the team training, and he was not there. So it's highly likely that Luke Shaw will not be available, unless, of course, it's early days. It's a Tuesday. We have a game on Sunday. The game is on Sunday, so maybe between now and then he could train. But today at Carrington, he was not sure. And on the pitch, I think he's more in the doctor's room. He's spending more time in the doctor's room than he was ever on the pitch. In fact, I was seeing images of Eric Ten Hag briefing Kambwala. I don't know whether the plan is for him to give Kambwala a chance. Maybe what would that mean? Kambwala is not a left back really. So we are trying to see. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But for today, Luke Shaw did not appear anywhere in the training. But the good news is that in the training today, again, as always, Amad Diallo looked to be the standout. And I'm going to share after this video. I'll share to you a montage of what has happened at Carrington today. You see how players were training. Amad Diallo has a very good training. I do love, you see, if you look at Man United now and how we look during training, the smiles on the players' faces, the smiles on Eric Ten Hag, there is a certain hitherto unseen happiness and joy and chemistry within these players that you love to see. I think for me it's a good thing. Today's training, I think, mostly involved players who did not, at least for the footage we are seeing, has players who did not play the game, the game over the weekend, the game on Sunday. They are the players who appear in the training pictures and videos that were shared today. I've not seen, except I think Scott McTominay. I saw Scott there, but he came off the bench. So I think those who started, I think, and played a bigger part in that game probably did not train today, because today's session, I think they had a day off or something. I think another way for Eric Ten Hag to get his players to recover. I told you how I noticed that players like Kobe Mainu were showing tired legs against Aston Villa. So probably they were given a bit of a rest. So the best thing Sir Jim can do is to bring Mason Greenwood back. And for me, will be the mark of success for him. And the first mark of success for Sir Jim, that will prove to me, and I'm sure many of us, that he's his own man. Because the fact that he was only given 25% stake in the club, it means the Glazers still own the club, because they own the 75%. Sir Jim is in charge of football operations, but they also a Glazer sits on the board, and so they are still there. But the thing is, for me, Sir Jim's mark of success will be him bringing Mason Greenwood back, regardless what would happen next. Because that for me would be a mark of a man, first of all, who is here to change the football, not caring about what any outsider thinks, but also it would show that he's his own man. Because for the Glazers, certainly, they will keep telling us of the business issues and how Mason Greenwood and all would make them lose money. Yet I saw just a couple of months ago, I think, Greenwood was putting on a brand new shoe from Nike. So his deal with Nike was not affected. So whatever excuses the Glazers have do not really make a lot of sense. But for me, the biggest mark of independence, a statement, the statement of intent from the Glazers, yes, they have shown us they are willing to work by bringing in Omar Berrada. But for me, they will cement everything they are trying to do by bringing back Mason Greenwood. And I am not saying they bring him back and they force him to play even if the atmosphere becomes hostile for him. I think for me, just bringing him back, even if he just comes back briefly and he gives us a proper send-off and they sell him. For me, my issue by that is not to play. Probably the best thing for him is to play football away from United, like the statement they released said at some point. But that was before Sir Jim Ratcliffe came in, by the way. For me, probably it would be the best thing for him as a youngster to go and play football elsewhere away from United. But for me, my point is let the boy first come back to the club and we see what happens. If it's unbearable, it will be clear and glaring for everyone. I would feel so bad if Mason Greenwood went through the back door, that he went to Getafe on loan and he never returned to step foot at Carrington or Old Trafford. If anything, Mason Greenwood deserves a proper public send-off. If the Glazers do want money, yeah, don't they? If the Glazers announce that we are going to have a send-off match for Mason Greenwood, and each person is supposed to pay £400 to enter to watch that match, a friendly match between Man United and Getafe, trust you me, they would sell out those tickets. People would flood Old Trafford. It will be full to the brim. It's a 75,000 seater. People would pay 4,000 quid to send off Mason Greenwood officially. That's for me. That's my biggest belief, because the majority of Man United supporters do want him back. And again, but even if the few would make it difficult for him to play at United, doesn't mean he cannot come back and bid farewell. That's United. This is who we are. This is our boy. This is our own. I mean, he did not kill anyone. He did not wrong us in any way. He made a mistake as a child, which mistake was forgiven and it was forgotten. So for me, that's why I think for Sir Jim to make a statement and for us to believe that yes, he's his own man, let him bring this boy back. For me, that would be the biggest statement. Forget about bringing Omar Berada. Forget about convincing whichever coach Jurgen Klopp to come and be boss at United, or bring Pep Guardiola and Klopp as his assistant and Eric Ten Hag as the goalkeeping coach. There is no bigger statement he can make than bringing back Greenwood. For me, that would be the biggest statement of intent and independence from the richest man in the UK. For me, honestly, Ernest Kavuta, the best thing, Sir Jim, I agree with you 100%. That's the best thing he needs to do now that he's about to be officially confirmed as the man in charge of football. Now, of course, the other great thing we've had that he wants to do, and forget about, people are saying the 300 million, and someone was asking me that, what do they mean? We saw reports that he wants to build a facility of £2 billion, yet the statement, and we've always known that he's investing 300 million US dollars in the club. No, the 300 million is his investment in changing, Carrington, improving the training ground, a few things, because 300 million is peanuts. It cannot even build, I don't know, 300 million US dollars cannot build a modern state-of-the-art facility that could excite the world, that would amaze the world. No, it wouldn't. So the 300 million is to do a few basic things, but he can still put in his 2 billion to build a new stadium, an independent facility. It's allowed, it's acceptable, and it can be done. So it's not like this is a far-fetched story. It's not far-fetched. It's possible, and he really wants to do it because he has the money anyway. He has just got to find the right way of doing it. Stop a man who has his money, an owner, to come and build a facility for the club. It's allowed. It's completely allowed. What's not allowed is when it comes to buying players. Does it make sense? Do you make the money to buy the players and stuff like that? But if an investor is coming in and saying, I'm investing in a better identity for the club, I'm putting in extra cash aside for me to do this, it's allowed, and improve the area around Old Trafford and stuff. It's allowed. So whoever was asking me that, these are some of the things that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to do. But yes, all those are good. They are important. But you see, the reason why he paid 1.4 billion for 25% is to improve the football, not to improve Old Trafford. It's to improve the football. For us, the fans, we wouldn't care by that. We would care less if we stayed at Old Trafford forever. We would bash it and this. But if we are winning games in that Old Trafford, like it is, we would be okay by that way. We would be extremely okay, and Sir Jim knows it. Before he thinks about his 2 billion to build a facility and amaze us, all we care about is put the football right. And if it means bringing Greenwood back, he has got to do it. There's no question about that. He has got to do it. His job is cut out. And for me, the thing is, with Greenwood, if United brought back Greenwood, we would have solved more than 70% of our issues. We would have improved this team by almost 80%. Yes, then it would make his job so easy and the success would come so fast because the beauty is this squad that we have now currently looks like it's progressing, looks decent, that you don't need to add in so many players. You don't need to. So the rebuilding looks the template looks it seems to be there because you've got youngsters who are doing well. That is one. We've got youngsters who are doing extremely well. Just adding a few good players who are strategically selected. And that's exactly what this team, of INEOS team they have assembled, is going to do. But for me, already from what I see here, from here, and that some of our players are wanted by Madrid, Rasmus Højlund and stuff, I think, and Garnacho, that they told their scouts to monitor them. Of course, Real Madrid has got this arrogance about it. They think every player dreams to play for them because they are the Galacticos, they have the money, they are, they are one of the biggest. I don't want to say it that they're the biggest club in the world. Some people think it is. I still think United is, but they have this arrogance about them that they can get any player they want regardless which team they play for. That if they walk up to them and they wanted Erling Haaland, they will just give him a call and he will leave. You saw how they disorganized PSG and Kylian Mbappe. I think that's PSG. I don't think Højlund. Højlund is living his dream, and Højlund knows that he's on his way to becoming a legend at Manchester United. So I think the talk of Real Madrid is a bit sort of diversionary, if you ask me. I think it's diversionary talk that we don't need to focus a lot on. But also, but maybe we should just look at it as a a good a good sign that we have good players, because by the time Real Madrid points at you, you must be one of the best players in the world. I've not heard Madrid in recent times pointing to Erling Haaland. Not that they don't need a striker. They don't even have a striker, do they? So it's not like they 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 don't see him. But it shows you that it's an endorsement to Rasmus Højlund that is a good player. People have been asking me about that as well, also on other platforms. But for me, I have no concern about Højlund and being disorganized by Real Madrid. He's a fan of Manchester United. He's loved already by the supporters. Even before he scored goals, we loved him. Now he's scoring goals. His teammates are loving him. Smiles are flying all over Carrington. So there's no way. Why then would he be leaving his dream team to go to Real Madrid and restart? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So for me, I want do that. But what I'm saying is, for Sajim, his work will be extremely easy, because imagine with this squad, bring a replacement for Casemiro. You've got Kobe. This back line, just bring your Todibo, and up front, find a backup striker for Højlund. Then bring back Mason Greenwood. Sell Marcus Rashford. Already, you've got a world beater. You've got a world beating squad. So, and the beauty is, this guy cares about fans and what they say. And these posts from Badmas Bassett, who is saying, I want Greenwood back at Manchester United. The more we keep saying it, and he sees it, his team sees it, he will do it. Because one thing that I know Sir Jim Ratcliffe would want to start off with is to endear himself to the fans of Manchester United. He knows that people were not exactly excited about him taking over until we started to see snippets of what he can do, what he's all about, and him now trying to prove. You see, it's him going to watch games and all. It's him trying to prove to the world that he supports Manchester United and he genuinely loves the club. He's just trying to undo the exact things that made us hate the Glazers. So, smart about it. He may not even be so much in love with United. I mean, which billionaire? The world is one of the world's richest men, having the time to love on United all their time, when they have got petrochemical companies, empires to run. I think the second largest petrochemical company in the world. It's all probably, it can even be, it's all cosmetic, but it's okay. We don't care. This is making an effort, and I'm just saying it might be, or it might not. He says he was born close to Manchester anyway, so why would we deny it? But what I'm saying is, no billionaire has all that time to follow football and go watch this game, go for what memorial and what. He's just trying to endear himself to the supporters. But the most important way, the easiest way rather, for him to endear himself to the biggest majority of the United supporters is by bringing Greenwood back. Even if whatever he does doesn't work, trust me, people will be happy about it. Even if it fails, even if his rebuild fails, God forbid, people will still be happy with him. So for me, his work. I agree with you, but Badmas, Bassett, and many other people who want Greenwood back, that for it would ease the work for Sir Jim Ratcliffe by by a mile. So that's important. But yes, let's again now look to the game. I want to keep mixing it up. Talk about Sir Jim. We talk about the game. Event doesn't return. If he doesn't train tomorrow is Wednesday. The guys who started will obviously train. The guys who played on Sunday will obviously train. If Luke Shaw doesn't train, guys, today I told you the training today was mostly the people who came off the bench and those who did not play a minute in the game against against Aston Villa. But those who started the game will be training tomorrow. There is no question about that. If Luke Shaw doesn't train tomorrow, then we will know that there will be a replacement for him. I'm seeing already. I told you of the young lad Hamas, who has been training with the senior team, I think, for a couple of weeks. I think Eric Ten Hag is trying to look for a third option, I think, which is good. They're trying to look for a proper backup. I don't know. We might see a surprise over the weekend. We might see a Kambuala starting somewhere. Maybe we could say surprise. I don't know which, but by tomorrow I'll be able to figure it out. But let's see if Luke Shaw will train. But regardless, whether he trains or not, I think United will still be in a good place to beat 17th place Luton, who have got 20 points, a goal difference of -12. The only painful bit is that Luton has scored as many goals as we've scored. Can you imagine? Luton has scored as many goals as we have scored. Man, how bad have we been this season? Luton have scored 33 goals. We have scored as many. Let me even talk about the positives. So Amad Diallo continues to have a brilliant training. Again, he trained so well, and videos show. I like how the admin, whoever posts, keeps focusing on him. Whoever films focuses on him. I don't know whether it's the same person who posts. Usually they are, but at Old Trafford there are so many employees. You could find that the person who holds the camera is not the person who presses the record button, or is not the person who edits, is not the person who posts, is not the person who approves. So yeah, Old Trafford has so many employees. This is again one of the things Sir Jim is going to change at Old Trafford. It is said we are overstaffed. When I was at Old Trafford, I would see in corridor there are so many people, and you're thinking, where do they go get all this money to pay all these people? But it shows you this team makes a lot of money. That's how powerful Man United is. They make a lot of money, which is good, by the way. I've got no issues for me with any employer, someone who is employing people. The biggest problem in the world is so. The more you employ, for me, the better. I would wish in the future, if my channel grows, I would wish to employ more people to work, not for me really, but to work on the channel, to work for you, to serve you, more people who are as passionate about Man United as I am. So I don't really want to complain about there's so many employees, because again, if Sir Jim comes in and he trims the numbers, he's reducing the numbers, but certain families are going to suffer with that decision, lose their jobs. So meaning people have now to struggle to find other jobs. So the whole ecosystem is huge. So for me, I've never been for sacking, reducing. So long as there is work to do and they do it well, pay them. Let people have jobs if the money is there. The money being there, but the football is not being right. And Sir Jim is not here really to fire people and stuff. His job is football operations. That's what he bought the 25% for, football operations. So if he's trimming and firing Anthony's players like Anthony, it's for football. It's a footballing decision. But also Anthony will never run broke unless he's mad for the rest of his life. The time he has spent earning the money he's earning is enough. Even if he never played football again, he will be okay. His family and entire clan will be okay for the rest of his life. So for me, that's the thing. So I may not sympathize. I won't sympathize with the footballers on the pitch because they earn crazy money. I will sympathize with the other stuff. But Old Trafford, the reality is overstuffed. So many old people doing this, directing people to nowhere. Some are just smiling. They can barely talk. And I'm thinking, okay, employment. He's an old man. He needs a job, but it doesn't. It looks funny a bit, but it's okay. I'm not for sacking anyone. So long as they are working, they are earning for their fending for their families. Is Wan-Bissaka available for Luton game? Again, we are going to again like I told you today, they didn't train. Some of these players didn't train. Wan-Bissaka too was not in the training, so Bissaka might be injured by that because the fact that he didn't was not even in the squad. If he was going to play, he would have been in training. But Bissaka, Mason Mount, and Tyrell Malaysia are all away. They are isolated from the squad. I think they are with their physios trying to recover. They are being rehabilitated. They are on the rehabilitation to come back. So Bissaka won't be available. There is no way. I don't think so. Bissaka, I think unless he's a late addition in the squad, but I don't think Wan-Bissaka will be available for Luton. I think his injury, by the way, is more serious than we knew. By the time he got off during training, it shows you he wasn't okay. So Mount, Bissaka, and Tyrell Malaysia are still not there. Let's not even think about those. But we don't. Who needs Bissaka now when Diogo Dalot is balling like he is? We don't. Of course, I know if Bissaka was fit, you would think he would be a replacement for Luke Shaw on the left because he played so well on the left against Tottenham. I was shocked by how well he performed against Tottenham. I actually, for a moment, felt like he actually plays better on the left back in the left back than he does on the right. But of course, you say that just because Diogo Dalot is performing well on the other side. But that's to emphasize how good he's performing. He was on the left, but he won't be there, unfortunately. I completely doubt that. Badmas Basidi said, I want Manchester United to release Rashford to PSG. Guys, here is my exactly. I've been saying this, but here is my issue with that. I don't know why people have this big belief in Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, yes, scored 30 goals last season for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford can be a good winger. He's a good winger. But Marcus Rashford has been positioned as the biggest, most important, biggest player at Manchester United. And if that is so, how the mighty fall? Honestly, I don't think Marcus Rashford, even at his best, is good enough to be the main guy at a club like Manchester United, a club that is competing to win titles. I think for me, Rashford is like when you talk about tiers of players, for me, Marcus Rashford is in like the third tier of the best players, third or even fourth. I don't think Marcus Rashford is at the level of Kobe Mainu or even Hoyland now, who is almost unproven, but just by his natural skill and talent and his potential. Haaland, the first tier of players. Because here's my pain. Man United seem to treat Marcus Rashford as if he's a Kylian Mbappe, a Jude Bellingham, okay, now Kobe Maino is a new revelation in that level, as if a Erling Haaland, as if a Lionel Messi. And it beats my mind. I'm thinking, if our best player is Marcus Rashford and he's positioned as the future and the face and the player who is going to lead this team, because any player has got to have a leader, not leading with the captain's armband, but leading with in terms of personality and skill. The way you would have a Cristiano Ronaldo, you have a Wayne Rooney, and you look up to these players and you're saying, okay, this is our most important guy. If this guy is not there, we are in trouble. If Erling Haaland is not there for Man City, we are in trouble. If Kevin De Bruyne is not there, they are in trouble. If Jude Bellingham is not there for Madrid, they are in trouble. If who else? That level of player. Now, if Mohamed Salah is not there for Liverpool, they are in trouble. Now, if our first tier player is Marcus Rashford, goodness, how the mighty fall. We are in big trouble. For me, Marcus Rashford is, by the way, one of the most overrated players at Manchester United, if you ask me, if not in the Premier League. He's extremely overrated for me. I felt like he's an amazing player. He has got this speed, but you see, he could even be faster than Mbappe, by the way. It's possible that he could be, but you see, Mbappe's speed with his skill make him a class apart. Marcus Rashford has got speed and he looks like just a sprinter. He's not his decision making. He's not so exciting on the ball. He's not so smart. He has a sort of decent finishing, but at times he fails and you're thinking, okay, is he actually a good finisher? I don't know. For me, Marcus Rashford is overrated, and that is why I agree with you 150%. He's the first player that Sir Jim, who is incoming, should sell And the reality is PSG will settle for him. They will buy him. There are clubs out there that will feel Bayern can buy him because Bayern probably also going to go into a season of change. Barcelona maybe can buy him and trim him into a better player. He's 26. 26 is not a young age for a footballer. That's the prime of a footballer. So for me, Marcus Rashford, I don't know even why people want to talk about him like we can't sell him because he has had some good runs and what. Generally, Marcus Rashford is overrated. We are supposed and for as long as he's there at Manchester United, he's going to cover and overshadow so many players. He's going to be he's going to confuse people like he's the star man, the star boy, the big guy. Yet he's actually not supposed to be anywhere close. If the first tier of footballers is the Jude Bellingham levels, he's not hungry on the pitch. Yes, he has got the wrong mentality. His body language, everything about Rashford for me for the longest time has been terrible. And I got the chance to experience hand. The way he drives, even his teammates apparently, even his teammates in the dressing room don't speak to him. He's too proud for even his teammates. He doesn't talk to them. Like he does not really relate. He's isolated. He's distant. He's not with them. Even the way he drives, I saw him twice driving in at Carrington and I saw him driving in at Old Trafford before the game. And just the way he drives, his car, which car is it? It was as if what? Those sport cars was as if is it a Lamborghini? I don't know. Because I'm not so good with cars. Has a nice, very nice short car like this. But he plays the way he drives. The way he plays is the way he drives, by the way. So fast and careless, even walking. So we have a game where people were chanting his name. He had a decent game against Tottenham. Then kids are calling him and screaming his name to sign autographs. And he's looking down like he's disgusted by these kids. He's a very completely dry, bad face. And I'm thinking, what does this boy think he is? He overrates himself. You see, even if you're not going to sign autographs with people, you can communicate to these people with your face and they'll be happy. You can just look at them and wave and smile and but the boy's body language is bad. And he has not like he has never signed autographs. But like even when Marcus Rashford was doing these food things and the way they were publicizing them, I felt like for me it was a PR job. I've never felt like Marcus Rashford is a people person, like he's a relatable guy. I feel like there is a certain cosmetic thing about him. There's something that does not feel right about him, and we are beginning to see it now. But I've never felt Rashford, honestly. I've never. He keeps looking down. He walks while looking down. He doesn't. Then he will clap like this at times. Just everything about him is so artificial. But look at Hoyland. Look at Kobe Mainu. Look at Diogo Dalot. These are the players you look at and you see they have got the right heart of the club, the right mentality. Marcus Rashford's character, for me, is bad. And we will know more about him in the future. I've got no doubt. I agree with you, Anolin Aliguma. Rashford has the wrong mentality. He's not hungry on the pitch. Yet he's our highest earner. So you're paying him 400,000 pounds a week to just look disgusted on the pitch. And then the British, the English will keep sort of trying to defend him. He just doesn't augur well with me. No hard feelings, nothing against him, no hate. I just don't feel Rashford, and I would be the happiest person if Marcus Rashford was sold in the summer. I would be the happiest human being on earth if Marcus Rashford was sold, even if he scored 40 goals now, between now and the end of the season. Even if he scored 40 goals, because with his speed, on a good day, he can score banging goals. But even if he scored 40 goals, I don't care. I would be the happiest person. I feel like he's a wrong element in our squad. He's an extremely wrong element in our squad. And it's unfortunate. The sad bit is that he's an academy boy. But his facial expressions, his attitude, his mentality, and then people keep overrating him when he has a good game. But you see, if you know football, you can see that his talent is not. Rashford is not so talented, guys. Let's not be shy about it. Let's say it. Rashford is not so talented. He's just too fast. He's a runner. He's a sprinter, but he runs and at times even bypasses the ball. But he's not smart. He doesn't play with his head. He plays with his legs. He will run and run and run. If you could balance his head, Mbappe is smart. He's fast and smart. Rashford, no. If but I actually think Rashford could be faster than Mbappe. But Mbappe balances his speed. He's fast with the ball. Mbappe is different. You look at the two; it's day and night. So Rashford, wrong mentality, wrong character, wrong skill, not hungry, probably satisfied now, overrated. I don't care about his MBE. Rashford is overrated. Don't tell me about him. Sell him, Sajim. Sell him in the summer. Sell him to PSG, Saudi Arabia, Barcelona. Sell him to anyone. And I know right now, if we don't sell him now, we would have issues. We can sell him for 80 million quid. Also, right now, because he's 26, and there are people who believe he's good. So yeah, that's my honest opinion on Rashford. So that said, as we do go to take on Luton, I will talk about tomorrow. Of course, we'll have a reaction on the training. I will talk about it because the senior team will train. I think in the evening we'll have a live before this night one. I think we should have one earlier on, like at 5 or thereabout, because the training will be nearly complete. But we'll be back, of course, early morning at 10 a.m. In case you don't know, in the morning at 10 we are here live. Is dynamic, exactly. Anolin Aliguma, I don't know. Anolin, I don't know. I love your choice of words. Exactly. Mbappe is a dynamic player. He will sprint when he has to sprint. He will slow down when he has to. He will come in when he has to. He will go ahead to the byline when he has to. He will hold on to the ball and invite pressure when he has to. Rashford is all over the place. He's just all scattered fast. He's just running and running and running, running, leaves the ball behind, falls, knocks people. What? I can talk about Rashford, by the way, for the whole show. Because for me and him, by the way, I just don't feel him. I don't feel him, by the way. I don't feel Rashford. I don't feel Rashford. I don't know who made that decision. If I were Omar Berad and Sajim, the first question I would be asking, who made the decision to pay Marcus Rashford that amount of money just because he scored 30 goals that season? These are the people who made him think that he's the biggest player, he's the star, the most important player. And then he's now becoming unruly. These are the people who made him grow those wings. But should be a bench player, proper bench player. When things are not working, he comes and sprints day and night. He runs and makes people tired. And then the whole smart players like Hoyland and Garnacho will get the ball, copy mine, and score goals. Don't tell me about Rashford. Proud. So yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality for me. So guys, it's a good day. I think for me, I'm excited about this whole Sir Jim Ratcliffe thing being done and dusted. Official. Let me just refresh one more time, see if there is any update, an update for you. Any update for you? I see Mason Mount is trending. Varane is trending as well. The Glazers are trending. the Glazers are trending as well. They always do, don't they? At a time like this, when we confirm Sajim, you'd expect them to trend. It's no surprise, is it? To be moved away from Old Trafford with Man United's Premier League rivals set to host. Soccer Aid 2024 to be moved away from Old Trafford with Man United's Premier League rivals set to host. Okay. Whatever that's about, I have no details about this Soccer Aid thing and you. Man United and Tottenham are fighting it out for Jared Braithwaite. I don't know. Jared Braithwaite is one of the players we've been linked with. The Tottenham, rather the Everton player. Even Tottenham apparently want him. The Everton defender is 21. But I first of all don't. The name Braithwaite doesn't sit well with me when you talk about it, when you mention it in football. The one that comes to mind is the Barcelona flop, if you remember him. But this defender, I saw Erling Haaland beat him to score the goal he scored against Everton over the weekend so easily. It was a 1v1, but he beat him hands down. And not to say that that should be that should define him, but I don't know. I feel like this boy is a bit overrated. doesn't excite me, but they talk about him a lot. Anolin Aliguma is saying, Web, I feel we should also sell McTominay despite his significant contribution for the squad. The lad is not good enough. Interesting one. Thank you, Anolin, for that, for bringing that up. I actually had thought about Scott. Now, Scott has put us in a very difficult position, very confusing position, by the way. We've always really thought that Scott McTominay is not good enough to play for Manchester United. But Scott is 26, and we have never felt like he's really that talented. But you see, to play for Manchester United, you don't have to be the most talented player. And this is the one reason why I could now have second thoughts about selling Scott. First of all, when we had issues with Scott McTominay, it was because Erik ten Hag was making bad use of him, was misusing him and exposing him. He was putting him in harm's way. I think the issues we got with Scott were inflicted on him by Erik ten Hag, because he was starting him when he was never supposed to be starting, then bringing him on at the wrong time, then playing him in the wrong positions and stuff. But you see, whereas Scott McTominay is not as talented, even in his own admission, he dropped an interview, a video interview recently, about 3 weeks ago or less, and he said he spoke about his struggles and his hustle, and that's why I gave it to him. I gave it up to him, because the fact that he's now at United and is playing a significant part. He has won us in the Premier League. His goals have won the most points of any goal scored in the Premier League. It's not like the top scorer, but his goals alone have won us 12 points. His goals, the most by a single player in the Premier League. Now, the thing about Scott is he's not talented, but he seems to have the heart and the attitude of a Man United player. Guys, let's face it, Manchester United has not been known for having the most talented footballers. Gary Neville, players like Sylvester. I will mention so many names of players. Even Roy Keane was not so talented. But the thing that United has always had is we've got players who have got the heart of the team and the character. And you see, so you players who play for United, it's like playing for a national team. With the national team, it's about you having the heart. The Uganda national team, the Uganda Cranes, used to have a player called Hassan Waswa. And I had an interview when I was still a journalist, an active journalist. I had an interview with the national team coach then, Mitchell. And I asked him, who is the best player you've coached? And he said, Hassan Waswa. And I said, what? Because to many people, Hassan Waswa looked like one of the worst footballers to ever put on a Ugandan jersey or play African football. And he would keep summoning him even when he was unattached. But Mitchell said, you see, with the national team, it's not about your skill. It's your heart. I've never seen a player who has the heart of their national team like Hassan Waswa. Now, it's the same thing. And that's why he performed well on the national team, but again went back and was without a club. He would have personal trainings with coaches when they summon him, and he would still be a starter in the team. You see, the thing is, Scott McTominay can be a Man United player because of his attitude and his heart. And that's why he can come off the bench and impact games, because he has got the heart and the hunger. He's pushed. It pushes him to the fighter. He has fought. He said, but at 16, when he was 16 at the United Academy, he didn't think he would ever play football, because he didn't kick a ball until he was 18, because he was too tiny. He had pain in his knees. His knees could not play football. He could not run and fold and kick a ball. Whenever he tried to kick the ball, he would feel pain in the legs. But he worked his way up, and that story alone shows you that he has been crafted. He has built the heart. He's not like a Marcus Rashford, who was in the academy but was always the one people were rating as the most skillful because he was running and scoring goals. Scott McTominay has worked his way up. For me, if he's going to stay as a squad player, and you always want such players. Sir Alex Ferguson had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Sir Alex Ferguson had which other players came off the bench and would impact games. I think at some point Tevez would come off the bench. I think we had players like Chicharito. You need these players who will sit on the bench and come on and impact on games. But for a player to do that, more so in players today, it is difficult, because most players feel they should be starting. If they don't start, they have the wrong attitude. So they come and they're just playing to finish, but they're not pushed. They have no push. Now, Scott McTominay has that. For me, I think that alone is enough for me to say, okay, let the boy stay. He's not on a huge wage, but he will contribute and come in. Even if he's given 2 minutes, he will take them and fight, and you can score a winning goal in the last minutes because he has got this heart. But also, this is how he's made. He's a hard worker. He's a fighter. The issue comes when Erik ten Hag starts him ahead of better players, ahead of Kobe, ahead of Casemiro. That's where then the issues come. But if he admits that he's not good enough to start, I have no issues with Scott staying if he's going to be a squad player. So for me, that's the thing. That's what I can say, Nolin, about Kobe. I was like you saying he should be the first player we sell, but it's confusing now because story of how the first at one time, the first time he was playing with the juniors, and they were playing the senior team that had the Carricks at the time, the Ashley Youngs and the likes, and the referee was in training. They were playing a friendly game between the seniors and them, the academy team, and they were giving all the decisions to the senior team, and he was complaining on the pitch, like he showed Mourinho character, and he was complaining about every decision. Then Jose Mourinho called him and told him, you know what, you don't have to overdo it. These guys need to have to like you if you're going to play with them. He thought his career was gone. He thought he would never get the chance because of what he had done. But somehow Jose Mourinho liked it and he gave him his first chance. That's why he will forever remember Jose Mourinho. That's Scott McTominay. He told that story himself. So for me, the thing is his character, his attitude, his mentality, how he has suffered to be where he is now. He has that's why you see he comes on and fights, and when he scores, you see that he's celebrating with this crazy Marcus Rashford scores and he's doing this. What is this? This player is not even smart. What does he mean by this? That is too smart. With who? Rashford? Don't give me that. Whereby I feel we should also, okay, I've heard that. Brian Noel, good evening, brother. If you watch Mbappe when he wanted to leave and didn't want to sign a contract, that's the same thing with Rashford. He is tired with Man United. Exactly. He's tired, but these people are overrating him and forcing him to stay. How are you keeping a player against their own will? From Kenya, you're live. Thank you, brother. How is Kenya? How is Kenya? How is it doing? How is it going in Kenya? Can you imagine? Anyway, so that's it. That's it for me. With Scott, I think we can keep Scott, honestly. I think, Nolin, I think we can keep Scott as a squad player. If he's not going to be a starter, anyway, he can never be a starter, really. Where would he start? Ahead of Kobe, ahead of Bruno, ahead of who? Ahead of Casemiro, he can't start. And, if Erik ten Hag keeps using him as a substitute, can rely on him, he's good. He's good. I think we can keep him as a squad player. He's not earning £200,000 like Anthony. So how do you talk about us selling Scott before talking about Anthony? Before we think about Scott now, we can sell Anthony. We can even give Anthony out for free. If no one is buying, we can give him out for free. That's my honest opinion. Thank you so much, guys. I think that's it. I should have about 6 minutes to leave, but I think I can as well end it here. I thank you so much for your comments. I keep telling you to subscribe, to become a member as well if you have to. I think in the future I should tweak it a bit so that commenting is for on. You become a member of the hotspot. It feels good. It feels like you're connecting with us. But anyhow, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Ernest Kavuta, Monbebevi Vignello. Hello, thank you. Badmas Basit, thank you. Ernest Kavuta, thank you. I see you. That gentleman from Malawi. Badmas is from Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you, Anolin Aliguma. Thank you so much. Brian Owili from Kenya. Thank you so much. Asante sana ndugu. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. My name is Webb. I'll be back tomorrow at exactly 11 a.m. in the morning. It will be 11 a.m. Here. I don't know what time it will be where you are, but I do appreciate everything you do. Thank you for being a part of the United Hotspot. Let's enjoy the new dawn of Manchester United with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Peace, love, and harmony.